Welcome to Cut the COVID Crap Part 38. Defund the FDA. T-shirt of the week. Maybe a bit hard to read. I'll get a little bit closer. I guess it speaks for itself who these guys are. Martin Luther King and Gandhi. Okay, I'm a few days later than normal this week. Got COVID. Felt pretty crappy for day and a half. And that's it. No problem. No big deal. So yeah. So now you got. I assume that more than 50% of the world population has had Omicron in the last half year. Is that fair to say? Not all reported, but I think that's a fair estimate, given how quickly it spread and how quickly it flattened. There's probably much more uh, natural immunity now. Um, so you had COVID, vaccinated or not, in the last half year. Now, are you going to get a booster? Are you going to get vaccinated again? Based on what evidence? You got when you've had Omicron, you got long-lasting, better immunity than uh, than the vaccination immunity. Um, all the data supports that. Um, but do you still want to get vaccinated? Is it important to stick to that narrative? Um, I would always look at the data. Anyway, the subject of the week: defund the FDA. The FDA has published some two ridiculous statements. I can't give it a better term. Ridiculous. Dr. Vinay Prasad. Um, I quote him quite regularly. Has done 2 YouTube videos on it. So all the credit to him. Links below as usual. So the first one, I'll quote: FDA's Peter Marks to Congress. Youngest kids vaccine won't need to hit 50% efficacy mark. So vaccinating the youngest kids, and we all know that there's evidence of the risk, especially in young boys with vaccination adverse events. The youngest kids, a debatable subgroup to vaccinate, they won't need to hit the 50% efficacy mark. So what he's suggesting is to vaccinate them anyway, even if the vaccinations don't work. What? Where's the logic? Where's the logic? 50% efficacy mark is already a low bar, and now you especially for that age group, one of the most risky age groups, you you get rid of that, and think of that age group, right? The youngest kids, do they adhere to physical distancing? There must be a huge proportion of young kids having natural immunity already. So why would you want to vaccinate them on top of that? For the last 2 years, they have been exposed to COVID, probably the most. And now you want to push them to get vaccinated, even if it's proven that the the 50% efficacy mark cannot be met. I mean, even if it's, I mean, apparently they want to lower the bar because that bar cannot be met. So what's going on here? You really believe that it's an logical decision? That stinks. It stinks big time. On top of that, video number 2 from the same Vinay Prasad discussing it. The FDA commissioner called Robert M. Califf. I believe that misinformation is now our leading cause of death, and we must do something about it. Misinformation is now our leading cause of death. So we got the highest cause of death is heart disease, then followed by cancer, and then with some distance, number three, COVID. With or from COVID, you can always argue, but at some distance, number three is COVID. But now, apparently, misinformation has taken the number one place. So even if all COVID deaths are related to misinformation, then still apparently you need to apparently a significant proportion of the cancer and or heart disease deaths are caused by misinformation. With what logic? I mean, yeah, I mean, misinformation is now our leading cause of death, and we must do something about it. Yeah, then I would say defund the FDA. The FDA has no rule if they make BS statements like that, then yeah, then what's their rule? I mean, they need to sort of they have a supervisory rule, and they should independently check the pharmaceuticals. But like, yeah, if they're on the same page, yeah, then why not get rid of the FDA? Then let the pharmaceutical companies decide what's good and what's not good, and you believe them. Misinformation is a leading cause of death. Like, I mean, how quickly do you want to get rid of people trusting you? So yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this week. It's I find it ridiculous that they get away with stuff like that, that they even dare to say this. And like anyone who takes the FDA seriously still, what do you think of this? How can you justify this? I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Good luck making your own decisions and do your own research. Um, don't believe the authorities. Don't take their word for things. It's more and more apparent that the cause of misinformation is themselves. Good luck. See you next week.